this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today we're going to be using Post-it note tape and Playful alphabet dies to make a masked sentiment. So, I'm also going to be using pretty perennials. I have a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of white. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of designer series paper, a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch piece of white, a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of black, and a card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. These will all be layered on top of each other. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out how much Post-it tape I'm going to need. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that onto my cutting plate. I'll line up these alphabets. And I'm going to run them through my die cut machine. This way they don't probably need to be perfectly straight. But it can't hurt anything. Well, I'm also going to be using a marker. I have gorgeous grape, balmy blue, granny apple green, melon mambo, and tuxedo black ink. Alright, I'm going to just add another plate on top and run it through my machine, and I'll be right back. I've ran it through my machine. This is one pass through. Go ahead and take these alphabets off and put them away so I don't lose them. Alright, let's peel this off. Okay. One advantage, it picks up all that extra garbage off of my plate. Now I'm going to try to line them up onto my cardstock. This is the 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece. And I'm going to use my grid paper. I know. Well, it's broken. T-square ruler. To try and get this lined up fairly decent. So let's make sure it's straight on my grid paper here. And I think I'm going to put it about here. So I'm just going to line this up here like that. Bring my first letter in and get it. Okay, and I think I'm going to start like right about there. Let's stick that down. You could use masking paper if you'd rather. Just figured this way I don't have to worry about picking the sticker off the back. And because it's Post-it tape, it's will remove easily without even any residue. And it's handy. It's convenient. kind of crooked. Let's lift it up and there we go. Next one. Whoops, slid. And then the O. This one was tricky. I couldn't tell which way it was supposed to go. You know, up this way or is it off? Okay, it's not perfect. Let's see if we can line it up just a little bit better. Okay. Alright, let's get it down there really well. Now I'm going to take my Stampin' Right marker and I'm going to trace around the outside of this. Try to stay as close as I can to it. You could wait and do this later if you'd rather, but just wanted to get it done at the beginning. You don't have to do this at all. I just thought it would add a little bit something, I don't know. I'm having trouble this week coming up with new ideas. Okay, so I'm going to finish this. I'm almost done. I might as well just do it alive. Okay, one here. Okay, now we're going to leave those on there. Move this out of the way. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' mat. I'm going to bring in some of the stamps. I think I'm going to start with this large one, Melon Mambo ink. Get my hair out of the way. I'm sure it's in the picture. Okay, we're going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp that over here. Push it down pretty hard because you do have that mask on there. Just hold it for a minute. Lift it up. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to bring in this stamp. I'm going to stamp a couple of these. Maybe I just want one. Let's just start with one. Okay, then I'm going to bring in this balmy blue and this little stamp. I'm going to stamp a few of these around. Okay, like that. I'll close up my inks. Now I'm going to bring in Granny Apple and this little leaf. I'm going to add some leaves here. I'm stamping this one twice so you get the two generations. Down here. Let's see. I think I want to stretch it a little bit, so I'm going to add some more leaves over here. One more here. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to bring in one of my blending brushes. I'm going to use the Melon Mambo, I think. Bring in a scratch paper. And I'm going to do real soft blending all the way around these letters. Just to make sure that there's some difference in color between the letter and the background. Real soft, and it doesn't need to be much. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the memento, the black ink, a couple of these centers. I'm going to bring in this little 3-dotted one, or 5, this one, the little tiny one, dots. And put that in the center of these little blue flowers. Okay, then I'm going to bring in this larger dotted one. That's going to go in this purple one. Okay, and this one here will go inside the Melon Mambo one. It's Melon Mambo that I use, not Magenta Madness. Melon Mambo. Looking at this, I think I need one more leaf over here. Or another flower over here. So it looks, it doesn't have enough on this side. So maybe I'll add a couple little blue flowers over there, I think. I'm not sure about that, but it's there. Bring in the little center for that one. Add a couple leaves off of those. Let's bring in the green leaves. Oops, that's the center. What did I do with the leaves? Oh, it's way over here. Okay, that's more that triangle shape. Maybe I should put one over here too, but I'm not going to. Okay, now we can pick off these labels. You might want to bring in your pick tool so you can get up underneath there. You could use these again, these stickers, but it is just Post-it tape, so well, that's pretty cool looking. I like that. Let me cover up this memento so I don't get it all over. Alright, let's bring in our pieces. And layer it up. Use my snail or stamp and seal. Okay, center this on this Designer Series paper piece. And we're going to add this one to this white layer. And this Designer Series paper piece is, what did I say? This is 3 3/4 by 5, so this is 5 1/4 by 4. The white layer. And then this is going to go on the black layer. Which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this whole thing will go on the front of our card. Well, you could have used a black card base and just added a white insert on the inside. I just like doing the layers and using white card bases. And I'll pick that up, set it down. There we go. I'm going to bring in a couple little gems. Take your pick tool. I'm just going to add a couple little gems. There we go. It's a very simple card. Well, thank you for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.